What is the right time? Walk when it's great to crawl. Play when it's great to write. What is the right time? To be a born talent. To be a future champion. To walk alone. Playing under 16 at 12. Facing 20,000 balls with a half-grown spine. What is the right time? Too little to be selected, too talented to be rejected. The papers, selectors all asking, what is the right time? The right time, it's when you do it. They say you're too young to play, but you're always old enough to dream.
Don't worry about what the future will look like. Just prepare for it. Fearless plans from Aegis Federal Life Insurance help you and your family prepare for the future.
Welcome to this conversation with my friend Rohan Bopanna. Already practically every box ticked. But the one thing, I remember 2016, I remember after, I remember before, I don't know how he digested it. I couldn't. Sania couldn't. We still talk about it. He's done everything. World #1, Grand Slams, breaking everything, inspiring all of us that nothing's impossible. Perhaps the only box is the Olympic Games. Rohan, thoughts?
I know speak English, Burya. What do you say about 2016? At 2016, I don't think any one of us thought we'll be here in this position at 2024. So, today we are here. We have to give it every shot. The result, nobody knows, what can happen. Nobody can predict that. But the proudest moment, I think, is that we are here to represent India. I don't think anyone would have ever thought of that in 2016.
I did not, because I thought it was the end of the road. I did not expect Rohan Bopanna to be around leading India in 2024 in Paris.
Exactly. So, well, here we are. At least we have another shot at this beautiful sport, beautiful journey, and it's a proud moment. The last 18 months has been absolutely incredible. And, we're in a position to, go back to the Olympics and, give it our best shot.
Rohan, that's the story. Because of the last 18 months. Had it not been for the last 18 months, I wouldn't have asked the question. But now, Rohan Bopanna can do everything. So the thing is, you can. Now go do it. Who thought world #1 at 43? Who thought world number whatever at so-and-so Grand Slam? Who thought? So you continuously broken these barriers. So the expectation in the country has continued to grow up. That is the point. But on a more realistic note, Rohan, how's the preparation going? Scratch team. You obviously are playing together at the moment, Hamburg, etc. But give me a sense. How's the preparation?
I think, Boria, to be realistically honest, I think this is the first time after almost over a decade. I think I'm going into games like this, kind of at least having a good camaraderie with someone. Last time I think was with Mahesh back in 2012, and the more so is that at least we're getting to spend some time together, before going into the Olympics. Here in Hamburg this week, I'm speaking here to you from here. I'm playing a tournament here with Balaji, and we have a good team. We have a coach, Balu, who's been extensively working with Balaji, and I've known him for 25 years now. And also Rebecca traveling with us as a physio. So I think we have a good team around us to help us at least, be well prepared. And I'm really thankful, to the top scheme, which has been fantastic. And, with a lot of support, I think a lot of the athletes who have received have genuinely, I think, put themselves in a good position in order to prepare well and be ready at the games. And, likewise for us, I think that is extremely important, extremely key. And these next 10 days are going to be a really crucial time where we're going to, get to know each other much better. Even though I've known Balaji for a long period of time, all these youngsters, now I'm keeping in touch with them. I know their results. I follow each and every progress of their journey, and it'll be nice to actually understand him and play with him along side on the same court, just to get that good vibe together going into Olympics.
2012, you remember, I mean, I was there as well. I mean, we've sort of had this journey together in many ways. You and Mahesh in London, and then obviously 16. But Rohan, why Balaji? I mean, what is the real? Because so much talk some months back, choice of Balaji. Obviously, sort of you had the say. I mean, there has to be one clarity of thought on your part as to what are the strengths that you have opted to sort of go with Balaji for this Olympics.
Yes, absolutely. Boria, I think it came down to two guys when I was just closing into Roland Garros, because I knew after Roland Garros is going to be the deadline for picking that partner. It was going to be between Balaji and Yuki Bambri. These are the two guys who are actually doing pretty well on the circuit, and also playing at a higher level, playing the big challenges, playing the tour events, playing against the top teams. I think so that kind of helped me narrow down from a few guys who've been doing really well in the double circuit currently. Thanks to the doubles program started by us, which has really helped that journey. But I felt just because on the surface being clay, I needed somebody who's more athletic, agile, and I felt that he's one of the guys who is extremely good at that, and who can help me in the surface probably. And when I spoke to my coach Scott Davidoff, spoke to Balachandran as well, we did a lot of pros and cons, and we said, yeah, Balaji would be the right person, because also he's a guy who has a big game, explosive game, which can always help me as a partner. I've played with a lot of partners who have that kind of game style, serving big and playing big, and starting from the days of Esamullah Qureshi. So that was one of the reasons I actually leaned more towards Balaji, especially looking at the surface being clay.
The next question, Rohan, when I think Olympics, it is never about rankings. It is never about a person's pedigree in that sense, or okay, world number 1 or 2. It becomes a very different ball game come the Olympic Games, and we have seen with results. We have seen time and again. What is it about the Olympics? Because you might be facing a pair of two players who are individually ranked higher, because in your case with your partner, you might not have that kind of ranking. But an Olympic Games is a different ball game, and anybody can win on that particular day.
No, absolutely, Boria. It is very different, and also the games in general itself, right? I mean, compared to the regular circuit, where maybe you're making a debut in a Grand Slam, or a Masters series, for example, but you still know who the players are, who everyone around is. You're familiar with, watching them playing and being around in that surroundings. And when it comes to Olympics, it's not only you're playing against these top athletes, but also when you come back after practice and you come back to the village, you have world-class athletes. And that is something very different, very overwhelming, to be in that scenario, because everyone out there is, the top of the top sportsmen are from their country. And it is, a fantastic feeling just walking around, and it can get overwhelming. So anytime you step into an Olympic game, I think there is a lot more riding on the game. And yeah, absolutely, it's about who takes the pressures on that situation on that day, and plays better tennis. And I really believe that Bala and me, if we play to our potential, we have every chance of winning against any team out there.
Yeah, and when I think of the games, I mean, yes, Grand Slam, it's Rohan Bopanna, India, always. I mean, and when I consider Rohan Bopanna, and I consider you as sort of doing it for my country and feel inspired every time. But the Olympic Games is different. Yes, I know Davis Cup, but the Olympic Games is an Olympic Games. I mean, when you walk in that opening ceremony, that tricolor, assemblage of athletes, it is just a very different high, Rohan, as part of the Olympic Games. You've been there in Rio, you've been there in London, you will be there in Paris. So a journey of practically a decade and a half. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, Gauri. I mean, when you play a Grand Slam, it's the tennis fans which watch you. When you play, when you're competing in Olympic, it's the 1.4 billion people who are
Correct.
watching. And that is a beautiful thing. It's amazing to watch that. And Olympic Games, when you represent India, I think it's an emotion more than a sport. So I think that is beautiful. And to have that kind of support. Going into a massive event like this is always special, always beautiful, and all you have to do is put your heart out there and play your best tennis, and that's all what everyone expects you to do.
Rohan, I know you don't want to talk about it, but I am celebrating because you see, when we talk about these moments, whether it's you, whether it's Abhinav, as in you and Sania, whether it's Abhinav in Rio, Deepa in Rio, only the athletes know, and some of us who were there know how close you were. For the world, it's okay, they've come forth. But the deal is 3-1 up. How close you were, how much effort went in. Do you think about, is that the most sort of painful defeat of Rohan Bopanna's career along with Sania? That close? Do you really think about it, or it's no, forget it, no more?
No, but I mean, you don't really think about that, right now. It's been 8 years. There are so many things which has happened in that journey, along that journey. Yeah, of course, back then, no question, it was, probably the toughest and hardest loss. But there are so many wonderful things along that journey which has taught you to become a better player, better person, and learn from it. And you look at bringing that experience and trying to do better every single time we step on the court, and nothing better than, or a bigger stage than representing a country at Olympics.
Last couple of questions. One, when you go into the Olympics this time, Rohan, obviously you're the senior pro. Everybody will expect you to lead, you to mentor, you to guide. Does that put any extra pressure on you, or now it's no longer that, because been there, done that so many years, you've broken every taboo, every kind of challenge you've overcome? How does Rohan Bopanna as a person sort of get into this groove, taking Balaji with yourself?
I feel proud to be doing that role, because I really feel most of the players who are going to be at the Olympics are the players I constantly play in week in, week out against. So there is a lot of aspects where I can bring in my experience and work with Bala in terms of how we can play against certain players strategically, and then also thankfully we have a coach who's going to be traveling with us, and from the outside giving us a good perspective of how we are doing and how we can work together. And that is these next 10-12 days which are going to be key to really focus on. And yes, I will be leading this team with Bala, but I think he also is extremely I think happy to be representing India, but also proud that he has achieved so much in his career that he deserves to be there.
Of course. Last word. I mean, I did an interview with Sumit Nagal, and obviously sort of he said the world about you, and all of us do. I mean, you know that we are all Rohan Bopanna loyalists in that sense. We are all in your corner. But a word on Sumit Nagal, from 500 to 70 and making to the Olympics. I mean, that guy deserves a hell lot of credit as well, and we must celebrate Sumit Nagal.
Absolutely, Bore. It's truly magical. I think there's no better moment or prouder moment for someone like Sumit, who has truly believed in himself to bring him into this position where he is today. It's 65 in the world. I think it's absolutely amazing. Going in for a surgery and then coming back from 500 in the world all the way back up to his highest ranking, and qualifying him to the Olympics. I think it's absolutely amazing. a very, very proud moment for the country. And then every time now there is a representation in singles as well, in these big events, which is amazing. And I think he's only growing confidence each week, and I'm constantly in touch with him, and it'll be nice to have him there at Paris also.
I'll end there, Rohan, with the request that when you are in Paris, we must physically catch up. Been a while because I've interviewed you last 20 times digitally. It's getting a bit too much. It's no longer COVID times. I need to give Rohan Bopanna a hug, celebrate you physically as well. So whenever you are in Paris, I mean, we'll all reach there. And of course, we'll be there to cheer for Rohan Bopanna and Balaji and cheer for India. Thank you, bro. Thank you for your time. Keep inspiring.
Thank you, Burya. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.